So what about this COVID forbearance thing starting to rear its ugly head? Have you heard anything about it? Man, I have. Just heard some really bad news this past week. But there's some solutions, and I think that's what we need to be doing and be heroes. So stay tuned, listen in. So I'm Kathy Byrnes, and this is Real Estate Riches. Please subscribe below if you want to hear more and you want to be that agent that's ahead of the game. So I'm on Facebook and I see this post. Agent says, hey, my client just got served with papers that they had to evict their home in 10 days by the county sheriff came out. And they were stunned. It was such a sucker punch. They had no idea they were in issues. And in the feed, there were all kinds of people saying, yeah, this happened to my uncle, this happened to my aunt, whatever. And they were all talking about it. My first thought was, well, how did they not know? Because if you've ever been late on some bills, you're usually notified extensively that you're about to be, nailed to the cross if you don't get it fixed. So anyway, he said he wasn't, none of that. So I went on ChatGPT and I said, what's going on with this whole forbearance thing? Give me all the issues. What's going on? Because I'm hearing that these loans were bought and sold multiple times. This guy's loan was sold 3 times. He didn't know it. Now, he may knew that it changed and he was paying bills, but he didn't know that there were consequences to that whole thing happening. Turns out there were attorney fees that he hadn't paid because attorneys were trying to get in touch with him to let him know that they were going to go, but they weren't sending it to the right address. What's that about? Well, come to find out, when I go on ChatGPT and I start asking about what are all the issues going on, it says that they were getting sold right and left multiple times, and that there was a real lack of communication between these things about who the owners were. They were getting the checks on some of them I think they weren't. And so attorney's fees started going out. And now if I'm making a payment every month and now I'm not making a payment, I'm going to know there's an issue. I'm going to start reaching out and trying to figure it out. And I'm sure there were some of those in there too, right? Let's be fair. But it sounds like from ChatGPT that there's a huge mess out there. There's a lot of people about to get sucker punches. So what are the remedies? What can we do as realtors to help? Well, I think we start talking about it, right? So yesterday I was on a podcast where I was interviewing this guy. He's one of those cash buyers. It's like an investment fund where they make the cash buyer offers, and they're substantially discounted, usually around 20-30%. So you don't have to deal even with an agent, although an agent could bring you that buyer, and that's where you could fit in. If you have connections with Open Door, or if you're with EXP like we are, we have express offers. We have a litany of cash buyers that will do this. So another reason to join EXP. Just throwing that little plug in there. Anyway, but the point is, a cash buyer option could be an option. It depends on what the difference is between what you owe and what your house is worth, right? Well, I was thinking with all the equity that's been going on for the past few years since COVID, there might be equity in there where there's enough for them to walk away with something, buy a new house. Maybe they have to rent for a while, but it saves their credit. That's the biggest thing here. If your credit gets screwed, you're going to have a hard time even renting. You're going to have a hard time buying. You're going to have a hard time with everything. So we want to save the credit the best that we can. So cash offer is a good offer. Another one is if there's an opportunity to do a short sale. Short sales were really big in 2008, 9, 10, that era. I did tons of them. And I pursued the people that were in trouble. Some of the people I pursued, they didn't even know they were in trouble because the whole neighborhood around them was about to go in foreclosure. Now that was a whole different era of style of foreclosures because of the loan, the mortgage fraud that was going on then. So whole neighborhoods would have been given really bad loans and they were a mess, and that's why they went under. So this is a completely different story, but it's a story in itself. And by you being aware of this and alert to this and making content about this, you're ahead of the game. And that's what I'm going to recommend that you do. And also you can be the hero in the story. If you can save somebody from a foreclosure, worst case scenario, you get them a short sale where their credit's only affected for 3 years versus 10. If there's a way to get them a cash offer where you can get them out completely, that's ideal. Maybe they can afford to pay things back now, but they've got to get it straightened out no matter what. And I'm going to tell you, nobody's coming to save them. You got to be the savior, because I don't believe that our government is on top of this. And when I talked to my guy yesterday, who's that cash buyer, I said, "You think you're going to see like a lot of foreclosures because of this?" He goes, "Yes, we're hearing a huge amount of foreclosures are going to come because of this." And I'm thinking, oh, hell no. We're going to fight this off. We're going to be ahead of the game. So the realtors that are going to be the ones that can be the saviors in this. So I'm going to encourage you to be that guy. Start doing content all about the forbearance and the COVID forbearance. And you may be in trouble. You may not be. There may be issues. Let's discover it. Let's dive into this. Get connected with a local attorney who's a really good real estate attorney in your area, especially one that does social media where they're ahead of the game too, and they're educating clients. That's who I reached out to here in my local area, Tiffany Weber. She's amazing. And she hadn't heard that there was an issue about to happen till I showed her that post. So we'll be reconnecting on that whole arena. And you just need to be ahead of the market. That's how you stay ahead of things in this game. It's not an easy business. And honestly, this could be a really rough road for a lot of these people. And if you can help them, you're going to be the hero, which I hope you will be. And that's my goal. So if you like this, please subscribe below, ask questions below. Don't say anything negative in here about the political things. It's useless and it's a waste of energy, and I don't want to see it. So stay tuned for the next one. I got a lot more stuff to tell you about, but this one's really important. I hope you get on this.